Welcome to E360 TV, the live streaming and on-demand destination for influential voices and enlightened audiences. We offer trending, grassroots, and purpose-driven content across a diverse range of interests. E360 TV is more than just watching programs. We offer the ability to interact with live shows connecting audiences to real, authentic influencers and storytellers while streaming to millions of devices. Real experiences. Raw conversation. One destination for it all. E360 TV.
Good morning, and unshaven Lauren Michaels Harris here with you today for today's episode of Bathrobe Moments. I am so excited to be here with you. Welcome to the 16th day of March. Yes, Tuesday. We are working our way down the road known as the week. And how are things shaping up so far for you? I am so happy to be here. I tell you guys every day, I wouldn't rather be anywhere in the world except maybe Fiji than right here with you all. Our theme this season number 5 for Bathrobe Moments is Show Me Your Soul, and I'll show you mine. I think it's a permission giver, and it is an invitation, an opportunity for all of us to just have those conversations that shed some light on our similarities instead of our differences. So there you go with that. That's the bell of purpose, everybody. And what does that mean? You know, it's been here for a few years. When you hear that bell ring, it is there to remind us why we're even doing this. It means that there's some content somewhere floating around in here with us that I think that somebody needs to back the car up, throw it in the trunk, and take it home with them. So when you hear the bell of purpose, it's your chance to be a part of something greater than yourself, simply by sharing out the broadcast, inviting a person that could possibly need one of the words that they're going to hear today, right here, and perhaps change their lives, therefore helping them to change the lives of others. So that's what the bell of purpose is for. At this point, we always welcome to the show my sidekick. This is my version of Ed McMahon. This is Lucy McGillicuddy Ricardo, and my best gal pal. And today we are drinking on some regular old Dunkin' Donuts breakfast blend. Boom, boom. There it is. What's in your cup today? Mm. So, um, I didn't know if I was going to say this or not, but I have a couple minutes left to just chat with you guys. So I think I will. I just, you know, I have to be authentic, and I didn't realize this till I started hearing the theme song, "Show Me Your Soul, and I'll Show You Mine." So I guess it's my turn. So I just wanted to say, today, you guys, how grateful I am for each of you. You give me reason, you give me purpose, you give me opportunity to move those things out of the way before I sit in this chair every morning so that I don't get in the way of what is coming through me, through you to me, and through me to you. And so I'm so grateful for you. I just wanted to let you know how important you are to my existence and my purpose. And I hope that in some small way, I can provide the same service to you. So thank you for that. I mean it. I mean it. Today, we're going to be talking to a gentleman, a young man named Justin Charpentier. Yes, Charpentier. You know how I love to feature our veterans. I'm a veteran, and there's so many, past, present, and future, that I just, that give so much, not just in the way of military service, but sacrifice from all the other things that stand first in line in their lives in order to keep us safe and to provide the type of freedoms that we sometimes can take for granted. So today we have another one of those heroes. His name, like I said, is Justin Charpentier, and he served from 1997 until 2005 as an Army infantry person, and served in Iraq. He started a business prior to his separation from the military back in the olden days, 2003. Took a break from Iraq, and he started in advertising around 2006. Now, Justin has had several businesses since, but started his current business just in 2017, relatively new. He has a marketing agency with a team of 10 people. That can't be easy. Full-scale marketing, everything from websites to SEO, Facebook ads, and everything in between. He's been married to his incredible, beautiful wife since 2012, and they are blessed, highly blessed and favored, with 3 amazing boys and 1 dog. He lives about 90 miles north of New York City. That's right. Remember those Pace commercials, the salsa? Where'd you get this? New York City? Thank you for that memory, Justin Charpentier. So anyway, we're going to talk to Justin today about all the things I've just mentioned and some tidbits in between about how he got to where he is, what he's doing, where he is, and what he hopes to do in the future. So you know what time it is. What we do here is we send light, love, laughter. We pour our hearts into this opportunity to share and fulfill the promise where 2 or more of us come together, something wonderful will happen. And so put some hearts on the screen and let's welcome our guest in true bathrobe moment fashion, because here he comes, Justin Charpentier. Well, how are you today? Welcome, Justin. So happy you're here.
Well, thank you so much for having me. It's great to be here. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Tell everybody where you're at in the world. It looks sunny there where it's not here in Chicago, and what you're doing, and just fill in some of the gaps inside the bio. I just can give people a little idea who we're talking to today.
Sure. I'm in Dutchess County, which is, as you mentioned, about 90 miles north of Manhattan. And it's nice, a little bit cloudy, but chilly. We're ready for spring here for sure.
Amen.
Yeah. We're known as the Hudson Valley here, and it's really great. I'm not originally from this area. I moved down here about 10 years ago, and I met my wife and kind of transplanted here. I'm from a little bit further upstate, near Vermont, right on the Vermont border at the bottom of Lake Champlain.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So listen, do you mind if we just jump right in?
I do not mind.
Okay. I'm grasping for straws here this morning. You heard what I was saying to everybody, which means, and I told you a little bit when we were in the green room. I told you, welcome to your show. I'm just going to sit back and let you run with it. I'm kidding. I wanted to know, it kind of seems to me when I read your bio that, you know, now you seem rooted, you seem grounded. There seems to be this flow to your journey. But somehow I feel like it wasn't like that always. That did Justin go like in all sorts of directions and have to go through all sorts of, you know, those kind of those, remember that back in the day, you might be too young for this, but when you go to an amusement park, they have that barrel thing and kids tried to walk through it,
Oh
but
yeah, yeah.
it kept knocking you over, almost like being inside of a dryer. um it was there something like that? Tell us about uh all you know, the Reader's Digest version of how you may have been all over the place. I'm not sure if
Yeah.
that's the right way to.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Yeah, for
Okay,
sure.
okay,
I
okay.
even in just like physical presence, I've been somewhat nomadic in my life, and for sure, I've always known who I am. I just didn't necessarily know what it was that I wanted to do. If we're really going to dig in and you want to get really deep,
I do.
it starts with when I was very young. My parents divorced, so you know, probably the shuffle between two households growing up contributed a lot to me just kind of being all over the place. And you know, I would say it's made me very well adjusted and very flexible. And
Mhm.
you're absolutely right. I've been all over the place until I met my wife, who's I guess the person who really showed me what, you know, love and companionship is, and that's what gave me the comfort to actually root myself here for sure.
Mhm, mhm. You know, that's interesting because that's the same thing for me. You know, my journey started like that. You know, a good 11 years just in one place, and then things happened, and you know, pulled from the home, and 22 homes after that, and it's just never had stopped until I got married. I found my husband, and you know, kind of started feeling what it was like to actually belong somewhere and have something that belonged there with me. The two planes had never really come together for me. Every, you know, how you know what I'm saying? How, remember, go back through those different seasons of our lives, and a lot of you out there I know can understand this, where let's say there's three things we want, A, B, and C. You know, I want the great job, or I want to be happy in what the work is that I'm doing. I would like a relationship, or I want to be happy in that personal space. I want to contribute, make a difference, have a purpose. And it's like A and C are there, but B isn't there. B and C are there, but A isn't there. A and you can, you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
finally, we get to the point where A, B, and C are all there. I thought it took me 50 some years to line those three up. So I get it. And I've never, this is the first time I've kind of felt that same thing with somebody without knowing any reason why. And so I wrote down here on my notepad, let's talk about this, because I know for me, all of that nomad mentality was basically me fulfilling one of the promises, or at least my part of it, which is if you seek, you can find it, you will find it. And I think I was always searching and seeking. I just didn't know what it was for a long time. I didn't have a face or a name to put on it. It was something, you know? And so I want you to talk about that if you can. What do you, when you look back over your shoulder to the life you lived today, do you have an idea now, a more clear-cut idea of what it was now that you are grounded, of what you were seeking all along?
Yeah. I think what I was seeking was, you know, this is going to be kind of vague, but I think it was my purpose. You know,
Mm, mm,
you know, I never really struggled with my identity. Um, I've always been pretty strong with who I am, and you know what my alignments are. I've just not always been in alignment. I've not always uh, been able to see that kind of reflection in some of the other things, some of the people that I've been around. Um, yeah, it was the purpose. I mean, I didn't really know that, you know,
mhm.
we could say that we're searching for our purpose because that's like something that you should say, something that you should seek.
Mm-hmm.
But to actually know that I didn't know what my purpose was, that was a pretty big revelation. But I didn't know that until I found it, right? So
Until you found it.
yeah.
Right. And your purpose today is tell people what you do, helping people scale their and monetize all their marketing and advertising. And that's where I want to go, because that is one of the things I've experienced inside of what I do now, as far as, you know, the speaking and the influencing of people, which I take very seriously. But I've found inside here from the very beginning that when it comes to marketing, you find all kinds of people who not all marketing isn't based inside of integrity. People will say or do anything to get that dollar from you. And I would love it if you could talk about some of the things that you find that you help people do so that they stay integrity based and in alignment with what they promise people, what they say to people, that conversation that they initiate with people, all under the name of marketing, branding, and the dreaded S word, sales. Because it is possible to be successful, I believe, and not have to sell your soul. Yes or no?
Yeah, 1,000% yes. For me, it starts with knowing who you actually want to work with. Whatever your business is, oftentimes I think people as business owners think you have to say yes to everybody that's willing to give you money, you know, and that's just not the case. And I think when marketing becomes very successful is when you know exactly whom you work with best and you don't work with anyone else. So if you can identify who your ideal clients, customers are, and then you speak directly to them and you attract them to you, you are being authentic. You are being, you know, you're in alignment with yourself, with your business, with your values. And so are those people that you work with. So there's no question about being deceitful or not fulfilling on your promises, you know, and that's surprisingly a lot of business owners I don't know what the right thing to say is. They just don't know that. They think to be successful, you have to collect everyone's money, but it's really not. To be successful, you have to serve others. You have to serve the people that are in alignment with you, you know, the people that you attract.
Okay. So let's start there. When a person, let's say, let's have a hypothetical business owner here with us, like there's a third person on the screen. So this person today is launching a business Monday. Okay. So how does a person, where do they start when they say, okay, I am ready to pull the trigger on this service or this product? How does a person decide where to begin with their social media? How do they know that they should be on Instagram as opposed to LinkedIn, that they should be on Facebook as opposed to Instagram, so on and so forth? And is there an order of where you begin and grow from one platform to the next? Where do you take people that have no clue? Where do you begin?
Yeah, so that's a great question. People that have no clue where to begin, that have no current presence on social media, I'd say Facebook is where we start, because Facebook has so many users. Facebook has close to 3 billion users every month. 7 out of 10 Americans are on Facebook. 9 out of 10 Americans are influenced by Facebook. So it's a really great place to start. It's not where we stop, though. I think you should have a presence on every platform, though it takes a lot of work. It does take a lot of work. So, you know, start with one or two and really focus on those one or two things. You can always repurpose content and put it on the other mediums. But another big differentiator is whether you have a visual product, a visual service, or you're just kind of not visual. Instagram is really great for that visual, for that aesthetic type of product or service. Pinterest as well. Pinterest is a little more niched to like crafts and you know, products. But yeah, absolutely. And if you feel pressure to be on every platform, then you don't have to be.
One of the things I encounter with my coaching clients when they come, and this is one of the very first things we do, if not the first thing, we do what I call, it's just my terminology, so it's my universe. Welcome to it. You're just visiting. I'm just kidding. But I call it an SEO inventory, because I'm always, well, I'm not anymore. I used to be surprised at when I would say, let's Google your name. And even if you just put it into Facebook and use your name, I'm shocked still today at how many people don't know about SEO. They don't know what's out there about them. And those are usually the people that will have numerous Facebook accounts from years gone by. You pull it up and they're, oh my God, that was from 2006, and this, that, and the other, and they're just inactive, just sitting there collecting dust. Is it important to clean house first so that you can be mindful and you have only so many roads that lead to your house, not detours where people could end up someplace that's been abandoned for 20 years. What do you do when someone says, well, I've got this, I've got that, I've got this, I've got that? I find that a lot of people don't know the difference between their brand and themselves, especially people that are the brand. Like, I'm the brand. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And so do you think people need to go in and delete things and kind of like clean up before they start fresh?
Well, that's interesting because you would think that would be the case, right? But instead of deleting, you can archive things. You can archive things. Yeah. What happens is if you're talking about multiple accounts, you definitely shouldn't have multiple accounts like on one platform. You should only have one account on Facebook. So definitely get rid of the old accounts and start fresh. But if you
should they get rid of them remember that, and then throw in also, because I get this question and I don't know how to answer it. What about merging?
Yeah. If
they don't want to lose the followers.
Well, that's a really tough question. Really, Facebook doesn't want to see someone with multiple accounts. They don't want to see someone with multiple accounts. There's not really, that I'm aware of, there's not really a clear way to merge two accounts. Unless they're business pages, I believe there is a way to merge the business pages.
Okay.
But
not your personal.
Yeah, the personal, I think you just have to inform everyone on the old account that you're starting a new account. And then you're going to have to do some work. You're going to have to go in and probably friend request those people all over again.
Yeah, I had to do that when I started in this career. And I just simply put a thing up a sign like you would put in your yard. And I said sold, and I said, we're moving, and here's our forwarding address. And I gave them the URL, right, to get over and follow us and like us over there. And it worked. So let me ask you, categories. A lot of people don't know when they're starting Facebook. Do I start a personal page? Do I, because I have a personal page, but it's business. I don't have family members on there. I don't, it's the place where I can kind of give people a peek into my personal life, but within the boundaries that I've already established with those people that will be there with me, like in my home and things like that. But then there's business pages. There's public figure pages. There's all these things. And then within those pages, there are categories. How does the person, what comes first, the chicken or the egg? Does the person say, this is the category I'm in, and then go looking for it? But then what if it's not there? Do they just choose other, or do they pick something that's close to what? How important is it to hit the right category? Because it's right there, part of the experience at the top. What do you say about that?
I don't think it's incredibly important. Here's the thing about the business page. Facebook wants people to pay to play on the business page. So your exposure with the business page is very limited to begin with. Nobody knows the actual numbers. This is the latest that I've heard. With the algorithm, when you make a post on your business page or your fan page, you get exposure to about 6% of your friends and followers. And if that post gets really good engagement, then it'll be shown to more people. But ultimately, Facebook wants you to pay to boost the post. It's a moneymaker. So, my inclination is to tell someone to focus on your personal profile and promote your business with your personal profile. Don't conduct business from your personal profile, but promote it. And I guess this is the analogy. I think it was Russell Brunson that kind of made this analogy. I don't know if it's his original or not, but this is where I heard it.
Okay.
Your personal profile is like your house. And
that's what I say.
Yeah.
He stole that from me. You'll be hearing from my attorneys, Russell. I'm kidding. I'm just kidding. Next week. You see me doing this from downtown on a bench. Hi, welcome to Bathrobe Moments. Russell Brunson took my house. So anyway, go ahead.
Yeah. It's real life. I mean, we're real people. This is our digital representation. So when we interact, it's the same thing as real life. And when you invite someone into your house, when you become friends with them, you want to make it pleasing. You want them to come back in most cases, if you truly resonate and if they truly resonate with you. So you do let them in a little bit into your personal life, because when it comes to business, people like to do business with people. So I think it's very important to show personal sides of your life.
I agree. I agree. But know what that entails before you begin.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because this is digital. You have to be very careful. Sometimes I'll find a client who's posted something, they go live and they get everything right, the description's right. They're having that conversation, but then right behind them, you see a stack of mail, face up, where all of their personal information is there. I saw somebody one time, I was watching a video, and they had their bank statement sitting right there. And people will take screenshots and stuff and blow up stuff. And I mean, that's a real thing too. So talk about how you protect what you're building. Where do people go to find the do's and don'ts of how to keep not only their brand safe, but their immediate personal space? That's important.
Yeah. I don't know that there's a place where you go to get the do's and the don'ts, but a lot of it is common sense. And common sense it's such a funny term, because common sense is the sense that's common to me.
Yeah, most people don't use it. So how come it's common? Right. That's my granny used to say. I'll say that.
Yeah. What I like to do with my stuff, with my personal profile, I have a Facebook group, which I recommend everybody have a group.
Okay.
A group is like the party. A group is like, the networking event that you're hosting. And, I think, to be honest with you, that's what's keeping Facebook relevant in the world of digital here, social media.
Okay.
But, I try to stick with themes, right? And I try to stay in like really 3 to 5 areas of my life. One is certainly my faith. The other is my business or entrepreneurship, and then family, personal development is really big. And if I stay in those realms, I don't get overly personal. I mean, I do introduce people to my family and, some of the things that we have going on in our personal life, but I don't give out my address,
Right.
I certainly don't share my bank statements, although sometimes for credibility as a marketer, sometimes, people want to see that check for $10,000 or whatever. Maybe they don't want to see it. Maybe that's just a pressure from the industry, but sometimes things like that do go out. But certainly the sensitive information has to be protected on things like that.
Of course. So what about engagement? A lot of people feel like everything that they do on social media is fueled by the need for a lot of views. Now, our views, which are on the left side of the screen usually, how different or not are views from, say, likes, comments, shares, emojis? Because I've always had the mindset, This happened to me the night before my Goldcast video came out. I had a download and God said, Lauren, you're going to be tempted starting tomorrow to pay attention to the numbers on the left, the views, but don't, because that's the equivalent of coming outside and seeing footprints in your front yard, proof that someone ran through the property. Doesn't mean they knew who lived there or even cared. But those numbers to the right, those are all secondary things. Someone did not have to do that. They stopped what they were doing in order to hit an emoji, leave a comment, share your content, or just whatever it is they're doing, which means they at least understood something within your message resonated. How do you feel about that? And do you think a lot of people get too caught up in how many views as far as that makes me popular?
Yeah, I think that's an easy trap to fall into.
Talk about that.
So in terms of business, the numbers that really matter are how many people are you doing business with, right? How many people do you need to do business with? And so, yeah, some of those things are misleading. I'm not sure if it's a view as someone that's actually viewed your content. It's the content was placed on their screen,
right? Which
is an impression, right? And that's kind of irrelevant. But that's how that Facebook is based on impressions.
Yeah, that's a whole show right there. Impressions. Well, a lot of us saw that movie not so long ago. I think it was called Social. You remember the social media movie where they showed how we're being controlled and whatnot, and how they know everything to get, he just looked up this now, because like when you buy something and then the next few days all you see are ads for that kind of stuff. When we come back from break, I want you to talk about that, these conspiracy theories about how they're controlling our thoughts and getting us to do things and making us think it's our idea. Is there any truth to that? And if so, what's it mean for us? Okay, we're going to talk about that and some other things when we return in just a couple seconds with our guest today, Justin. I'm going to get the name right, CHARPENTER. Okay, I had to phonetically write it down to make sure I said it right. But we're going to talk about that and a bunch more. Get your questions ready, your comments, and we'll be back in just a minute. Don't go away. All right, welcome back to the show. I'm Lauren Michaels Harris, and you found your way to the midway point of today's episode of Bathrobe Moments with my guest, Justin Charpentier. I just want to say before we get back to our guest, thank you so much. I'm so blessed and honored to have the two sponsors for today. First, Swing and Fun by Crystal, where she makes those great swings for little ones. Go over and check it out at swingandfunbycrystal.com. And also, one of my favorites, intention pins. This is mine, which is inscribed with "through me, not from me." And they actually, I got to choose all of the elements that make the pin. It's handcrafted. And then the team there at Intention Pins takes my intentions and they actually pour them into the pin and bless the pin. And so I just love it. It just is another way to put some support beams around, underneath, above, and beside everything that I feel is my purpose in this world. So looking for a little boost, a shot in the arm, a makeover for your purpose, something to help support it, get over and check out this opportunity known as Intention Pin at intentionpin.com. Thank you for my sponsors. So welcome back to the show, Justin. Before we went to break, we talked about a lot of things. We're talking about social media and advertising, marketing, how to take our brands to a new level. And I wanted to ask you about, let's go to the conversation. I know a lot of people, people come in and you may have a great post that's engagement. It's fueled for engagement. For instance, you ask a question and then you get 14, 15 comments where people responded and then you don't do anything with it. Crickets, it goes silent. How important is it, in your opinion, that we make sure that we just don't drop stuff and never come back? It's like inviting someone over for dinner. It's the plate's full sitting on the table, but they sit there waiting to get started and no one comes and they end up eating alone. I always say, if people wanted to talk to themselves, why do they need us? What do you say about that?
Yeah, absolutely. If engagement is your goal, then you actually have to engage with people, right? So yeah. And engagement fosters more engagement. So, and as we all know, the social media, all the social media platforms are algorithm based. With Facebook, especially, it's based on engagement. It really is. You're rewarded for being engaging, and that's because, to get deeper, it's because Facebook wants us all to be on Facebook. They don't want us to leave Facebook. They really want us to stay on Facebook, so that we're more attractive to the people that are spending money, that are advertising on Facebook. And it kind of brings us to what you had mentioned before the break. Facebook is a collector of data. They all are. Facebook owns Instagram, by the way, if you weren't aware of that. I'm sure most people are aware of that at this point, but it's all about the data. So the more you can stay on the platform, the more valuable the platform is, the more money that we can make, that Facebook can make with advertisers spending their money. It's very interesting how, it can be so cold yet so warm and engaging at the same time. If we talk about the data, it's certainly purely about numbers. It's certainly purely about revenue. But the data is each of us, the people. I've not watched the movie Social Dilemma, and I think that's the movie you were discussing.
Mm-hmm.
I think I watched maybe the first half hour of it, actually.
Okay.
None of it's surprising. People have been collecting data for years. Google's been doing it too. Google does the same thing. We all have these devices with us all the time.
Mm-hmm.
It's got a microphone. It's got two cameras, one on the front, one on the back. It's Big Brother. We've let Big Brother in, but it's corporate Big Brother instead of government Big Brother. The Amazon Echo, I think it is, with Alexa, same thing. It's recording our conversations, and
it is.
Oh yeah.
My husband was mentioning that the other night, and he actually asked Alexa, are you recording our conversations? And she went, I can't answer that at this time.
Yeah.
There she is talking right now in the kitchen. Yeah. And and that's interesting because we used to have to say her name to get her. Now she'll just blurt stuff out
Yeah.
without being prompted or anything. And then she's always trying to get us to go deeper. You know, I can do this and that if you just tell me to go ahead, and would you like that? And I'm
Yep.
like, keep playing with me, Alexa. You're gonna end up with your cord cut off and in the garage sale this spring. I'm not kidding. Because I don't like it when I'm walking through the house and she just like says something to me, time to go for a walk. And I was really headed for a walk.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tell me about it. I'm not kidding. So, but okay. So let's get some tips out there for people on how to improve the productivity, no matter what it is. If a sale is the end game, or just to be able to be of service to people, to create a safe space where people can come and get what you're leaving, or to drop off what you need. What are some of the tips as far as being able to ascertain if you're actually getting what your goal was from even being there, being present? How do you know if it's working? It's so easy for us to just come and go, and just never go back and give it a facelift or updating all that stuff. You know, people have things on their jobs that were a year, 2 years ago, and relationship statuses and things like that. Is it important to keep your content and all of your bio information, not just on LinkedIn, but on any platform, current?
Yeah, absolutely. I like to think of my personal profile as a funnel. That's top of my funnel, right? So when people engage with my personal profile, I want them to know what I do, really who I work with, and if they are one of those people, or they fall into that category, how can they get more? How can they connect more with me? So here's some really simple tips for that. Like your cover photo, it's really your billboard.
That's so exactly. Yep, I was just going there. Thank you. Go ahead.
Yeah, when you engage with someone, whether that's in a group or likely it's a group because that's where Facebook is these days. But if it's on someone's newsfeed, and you're putting a piece of content out and it resonates with them, mm-hmm. They're going to click on you. That's what we do. They're going to click on your profile and say, "Who the heck is this person?" Mm-hmm. And if you tell them who you are in your cover photo, that's fantastic. They can go further if they fall into that category. But I think one thing that maybe people are in general worried about is repelling other people. They're worried about putting people off. Mm-hmm. One of the big things I hear is, what about all these people that I'm friends with already? They don't want to get bombarded with my business. Well, if they don't support you in your business and they don't understand that, how great or how good of a friend are they? Number one. Number two, you do want to repel people. You don't want to work with everyone.
That's right.
That's so
right. One more time. That's right. There you go. Can you tell I've had a recent experience? Shaking my head. But listen, here's something, because you went right where I wanted to go. Oftentimes when I start working with a client, and I was guilty of it at the beginning, banner, that billboard, that's like the corner house on the block. It's the first thing people see when they're pulling down your street. And sometimes the person's head will be cut off the banner, or they have a meme or some kind of quote and you don't get. And I tell people, don't do that, because you are already robbing your viewer, your visitor, if you will, of the experience. Because it's like, well, where's the head? Or wonder what that said. And you don't get the point. They don't get the point unless they blow up the entire banner to see what was missing. Now, I want to ask you, because this is a technical question, and I really need to know. When people say, for instance, when we're creating that banner, because that's your billboard, this is the thing I always forget. I make it in Canva, let's say, because it tells you right there, Facebook cover, this, any other, but it doesn't tell me if this will fit my PC, if a person's visiting through PC, or on their mobile. Because I've done stuff and it looks great on the PC, but then I don't go over to my phone and pull it up to see if something's cut off. How do you know if is there one size that fits both, or do you have to make two separate ones? And you know what I'm saying? And upload, How can you upload one like I have, let's say it's my LinkedIn. Do I go to the PC and upload one banner for the PC and then go to my phone and upload another one for the phone? How do you make them both work?
So Canva is a great tool. And when you're using Canva, if you do select the
The template.
the template. Okay, so when you're working with the template, here's the thing about all of these social medias: that we can use the computer, we can use the PC, or we can use our phone, but they're two different platforms. The sizing is different, just exactly what you just mentioned. But on the phone, it's usually more narrow and taller, if that makes sense. And then on the PC, it's usually shorter and wider. Widescreen format. So what Canva actually has inside, when you're using the template, if you move the item around, like if it's a text block or if it's an element, if you move it around, when you hit the edge of the piece of that cover that will fit comfortably in both screens, there's a rectangle that will highlight. So your photo should be the full width, like your background should be the full width of the template, but all the pertinent information should fall within that smaller window.
Inner box. There's an inner box.
Yes.
That's like, you know, like the pitcher's mound, let's say, if it were a baseball field. So the whole thing is the outfield and back where the batter is and everything, but this box is the pitcher's mound in the middle somewhere or inside of all of that. Is that what you're describing?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it only shows up when you move elements around and you hit that edge of that space. It will highlight that rectangle. It's the same feature as if you're trying to find the center of the whole template.
Right, where it gives you the crosshairs. Yeah. Okay. Oh, okay. That's very, very important. Thank you for that. Now, what about this? Choosing our profile picture, choosing even the cover, but let's talk about the profile picture. How often should we change that out? Does it matter? Is there something that works better than something else? You know, I'm always hesitant to change that because it lets everybody know you changed it, you know, and especially if it's just something temporary, like it's Breast Cancer Awareness Month and I want to put a pink ribbon up in there. How does is there an effective way to interchange these things? What should we be thinking about from a business standpoint? That's where I am just no good at it. I got it up. It's good. Let it be. Let it be. Let it be. But I notice other people, marketers and people that really know how to monetize their social media, they're constantly keeping it fresh and different. Is that important? Or can we find one thing that works and leave it there?
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of objective. So the one thing about marketing in general is testing. So if you think that you can improve on what you're using, then you test it. You test it and see if the results get better. And if they don't get better, you go back to the baseline. You have to have the baseline. Personally, I like a uniform. I think I'm recognizable as a uniform. So if I don't make many changes to my profile, then people are going to recognize me more often, more frequently. And that's my thought behind it. I don't really test my profile picture. My profile picture is of my family because it's a very important part of my personality and of who I am.
Right.
My cover photo, I change infrequently, but I change it. I have changed it probably twice in the last year. And maybe that's just to improve a little bit, to change the message slightly. I believe Facebook allows you to do a temporary change. So
and then it'll go default back.
Yeah.
Later. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I've done that. So how much time do you personally suggest we invest in monitoring or, you know, just getting in there and doing right by our social media platforms? How much time, is there a magic number for a business person, an entrepreneur to go by as far as dedicating time to the upkeep and housekeeping of your social media platforms? And is this true? This is a two-parter. Is this true or not? I've always been told that the end outcome should always be, if you're converting, if you're trying to monetize, is to your objective is to get things out there, to get people to where you can get to them, but eventually get them off of social media and into your contact list on your phone. Talk about that if you could. Is that true or not?
Yeah, that's definitely true. I guess I'm going to start with the second part of the question. It's a really great tactic in terms of sales to start your conversation on social media or on whatever medium, whether you're advertising or doing it organically, to get someone into a conversation. But then when it comes time to sell, you want to change the environment and you want to get that, you want to get them into a good selling environment. So if you're a business that operates virtually, and you can get on a sales call like this, a video call, that's outstanding. If you're moving people to your store, that's changing the selling environment, right? So if you're getting them from social media and you're pushing them to your products, that's the same idea. In terms of how much time you spend, so for me, I have to, we all have to protect our time because that's the one resource we can never replenish. Right. So for me, working in social media every day, I limit myself on Facebook to 2 to 3 times a day, and social media in general. I've found plenty of times when I've been distracted and I get lost down these rabbit holes like we all do. And that's exactly what it's designed to do. That's what the algorithm does. It keeps you engaged and it keeps you interested and it keeps pulling you in so that you stay on there and you can see more ads. And so I have to be very intentional about that. In fact, I've really gone deep in meditating. Meditation has helped me recognize when I'm being distracted. That's the main purpose for me in my meditation, is help me recognize when I'm being distracted and get me back on track as fast as possible. But yeah, so I batch my content. When I create my content, I don't create it on the platform. I create it in a Word document or a Google document that I can reference, and then I can pull that in. Because if we're on Facebook creating and making a piece of content and you see something in the background pops up that catches your attention, you're like, it can easily pull you away. Yeah.
Right. Shiny object syndrome.
Yeah.
Let me ask you, because at the top of the hour when we first started, you said something about boosting. And can boosting be beneficial, or should we try to stay away from that? I've heard things that fall on both sides of the aisle. What's your experience as a professional in this?
What I normally tell people as someone who's helping you with your advertising is that boosting a post is not advertising. So stay away from boosting the post. Don't boost the post from the perspective of advertising. Now, if you've created a really phenomenal piece of content and you want that to reach people, that's
right.
when you boost. That's when
right. Right. When I get like over 1,000 views on something, if the core of the content can find it, it's not industry or specific to any one thing, and I think it's something that can benefit anybody who falls in front of it, then I'll boost it. Very rare, but there are times I will do it. But some people, now let's talk about this. Some people feel like, they buy those views by boosting, and they feel that that's making them look successful, like their engagement is high. So let me boost. I know people that boost they spend a lot of money, and you go over and you see, oh, this show had 8,000 views and this, that, and the other. Is that dangerous water, Justin, as far as, believing your own press, you know that it's not organic? That's it. There it is. There's the question. Organic versus non-organic. Yeah. Dangerous or not?
Well, it's dangerous to your wallet, that's for sure.
But like people who buy, I got something the other day. I can get you 1,000 subscribers for $90 on your LinkedIn or your YouTube channel. Now, I've heard that if you buy that fake stuff, like somebody say, oh, it's just a bunch of people from India. That's what I heard somebody say or whatever. But that the whatever platform you're paying for that for, they know that it's not organic. Is that true?
Yeah, I mean, it's very transparent. Instagram is a really big. It's a platform I think that gets taken advantage of a lot like that. You can buy followers on Instagram, but if you have 100,000 followers and then you're putting out your content and you're only getting like 25 likes and 3 comments, it's very, very evident that a vast majority of your followers are fake. So, in the early days of those platforms, I think the social proof was important. So to have a very large following, for people to buy those followers, I think maybe that was a little more effective than it is now. It's very transparent now. And so,
because once you do that, you can't undo it.
Well, you can, but you have to go through and take the time to go through and make sure that those people unfollow you. With Instagram, you can detach followers from your account, but it's very tedious.
Now, what about this kind of thing? I want to know about this too. We got just a few minutes left, but I want to get this question in there. How true is this thing like on Instagram where people say, oh, you always want to have more followers than people you are following? And they make a big deal out of that. 4 million followers, 23 following. And what is that? And people say, ooh, they're successful.
Yeah, I think that's probably a vanity number, to be honest with you.
So it doesn't really mean anything at the end of the day.
That would be someone's opinion who's coming into contact with you. Oh, well, look at this person. They only have 100,000 followers because they're following 500,000 people. Yeah, but so what? You're engaged. You're talking to people,
Mm-hmm.
And I know that's a pretty big example. That's probably not a realistic example, but let's say you were following 1,000 people and you have 500 followers and you have one of those micro accounts. I think that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's okay.
Okay.
It's all about an opinion of a person that comes into contact with you.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're superficial and you're concerned with those kinds of things and you're buying followers, who are you attracting? And it goes back to my original message, which is know who you want to attract.
Right.
I don't think anything else matters when you have the message right.
There it is. There it is. So, dang, I wish we had more time. We got to get you back. This just proves, even to me, how important it is that I find some resource like yourself to be able to go in. Now, let me ask you, when people work with you, can they come on a month-to-month basis? Can they come and say, listen, I need to work to get this fixed, that fixed. I need to understand my social media and how to monetize and convert, or just do better? Or how does it work when people come to you for help?
Yeah, so I serve my clients in a few different ways. I have a program that's designed to give people the high level but agency quality view of what we just discussed.
Okay.
How to craft your message, how to identify your client, craft your message, build your organic audience, test your offer, and then scale it with ads. That's the entire program. And that's like a group coaching environment.
How does a person get in that? I'm serious.
Yeah, actually that, we could talk about it. We could talk about it offline.
Okay.
I have a website as well for that. That's not my main website, but it's
okay.
I don't know if you want me to put it up or not here, but
when we get finished, drop it inside the comments. That way people can just touch it and get there. So when they go to this website, what do they find?
This is my agency website, and it's really just a hub. It tells you about what I do. It tells you about what I do, and it gives you an opportunity. Yep.
Okay. And then on other social media platforms, you guys can find him at Justin Charpentier right there. So let's talk about real quick, last thing, final Jerry Springer thought. What size business should what you do, what size business is this important to? Just large businesses, medium business, small business, solopreneur, all the above?
Every business, but especially the businesses that don't have a large budget to be out there paying for marketing, paying for advertising. And I mean, I serve everyone. I have the full scale agency where we do everything for you. And then I have the coaching where I'm teaching you how to do it for yourself. And it's important for everyone. I mean, it's just such a valuable tool. It really is, to connect with people and to have a presence. Every single business should have a presence on social media.
Every single business. I agree. Well, listen, you guys, do yourself a favor. Head over. I'm going to keep those connectors in rotation as we get out of here today. But head over. I will. Justin, please hang out in the green room for just a second, because I want to find out about the group and the package because I just need to do better. Because I believe that, we pour so much into all the other things it takes to do what we do every day. And we should never let any portion, not one letter, not one punctuation of our message fall into the cushions of our lives or end up in a junk drawer somewhere. So this is something I know I need to do better with. And I hope some of you have gained some value today from what we've been talking about here with our guest, Justin Charpentier. Head over and do yourself a favor and do the best with all that you have at your disposal. Justin, thank you so much for taking time out of your day, coming in here and sharing just a bit of your soul with us. And get out there and keep doing what you're doing. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
You're absolutely welcome. And to you guys, I'll see you back here tomorrow morning. My guest tomorrow, Rob Bowen, another veteran who is doing a wonderful thing, gathering suits from wherever they can get them, gently used, brand new, to help veterans, male and female, transition back into the workplace after they have separated. And you'd be shocked how many, plus our veterans who are homeless and just have got, PTSD, all these different things. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful message. And I'm sure you're going to gain some value from it. So mark your calendar, set your alarm, and I'll meet you out front tomorrow morning for our next episode. But in the meantime, please do yourself a favor, do the world a favor. Get out there and be the blessing that you'd like to receive. Be that gift that you'd like to receive from the world. Change one person at a time, one situation, by just leaving every situation, every person you run into just a tad bit better than the way you found them. Watch what happens when you try that. Thank you so much, everybody. Get out there and be a blessing to someone, starting with yourself. Have a great day. I'll see you guys back here tomorrow for our next episode of Bathrobe Moments. Thank you again. Thank you again, Justin.
Thank you.
Wait in the green room. I want to know about the group for real. And where is my closer? Okay, there we go. Bye, everybody. I love you. Mwah.
Show me your soul. Baby, I'll show you mine. Show me your soul. Honey, it's way past time. How expensive do I have to be? Need I spell it out before you get it, baby? Show me your soul. And honey, I'll show you mine. I'll show you mine. Boy, I'm standing right here holding up a sign, shamelessly displaying my state of mind.